the Sands Showbiz Podcast, Nigel Clarkson chats with the world-famous singer, Rozalla.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, my darling. I'm ready.
Right, on the Sands Showbiz Podcast, it's the one and only Rozalla. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. It's great to chat to you again. I've forgotten the last time. It must be just over 6 months ago or something.
Was it? I've forgotten, but I do remember I did something with you some months ago. I can't remember when. Time just goes by.
I think it was March or something like that. But
okay.
It's always great to catch up with you. I love chatting to you. And I tell you what, I've been looking on YouTube, and you've been ever so busy since I last spoke to you. Everything's been changing, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's really, really busy. I've got a busy few weeks coming up. But mind you, the last few weeks have been busy anyway.
Yeah. And what I've been doing, right, so I've got a new sound system in the new studio here, and yours is the first song I played, actually.
Oh,
and
thank
I put
you.
it on, and I thought, I cranked it up a bit, annoying everybody in the neighbourhood. You and I, what a brand new sound that is, really, isn't it?
Thank you. That is all thanks to DJ Carl Nicholson for bringing the sound, the trancey sound to it, and taking the song to another level.
Certainly
so really, it's through him.
It's right up to date. It's completely, well, it's just right on the nail, isn't it, at the moment? That's fantastic sound.
Thank you.
The production's brilliant. Absolutely.
Thank you
Take my hat
so
off to Carl. That's a great job there. Fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone involved, all the guys and girls who did mixes for you and I, they just like, to me, Einsteins in the studio, just working their magic. Yeah. And when they send it out to Gary and I, because all we do, rather Gary Simmons, that runs Energize, sends them my vocal stems, and they're like, right, okay, lock their doors. And this is what I imagine they're in their, back studios, just churning out this magic that they're hearing. And I just think, how do they do it when I hear it? And Carl Nicholson, I think, how do you do it? And it's just talent.
Oh, it's pure. It's brilliant. It is spot on. Absolutely spot on.
Thank you so much.
That's the best song I've heard for a long time.
Thank you, Nigel.
And I'm thinking, Everybody's Free, of course, is your top song, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite up there with it, I think. It's a really good, strong song. I love it.
It is. Thank you so much. It takes me back to the early 90s. It's got that sort of sound and that sort of style to it.
Yeah.
Yet Carl added a very modern twist to it as well.
Yeah, a little bit of an anthem build up in the background as well, isn't there?
It's great. It's great. I mean, I was listening to it the other day in my car, because whenever, like yourself, what's going to happen now when you and I finish speaking? I'm going to have a listen to it. Yeah. So that's how, because I want to hear what you hear.
No, that's true. I played it a few times. There's a few different versions as well. How does that all come about when there's different mixes going on? Are you involved in that, or is that people?
Gary, I sort of leave it all in Gary's hands, and Gary will tell me, there's producers that are keen to work with your vocals. They've been big fans of yours. Most of them are just so keen to do it and charge us zero. Yeah. So, why not? And that's how all that comes about.
Yeah. So when you sing when you've done all the singing for the song, have you got any music to go with at all, or how's it? Is it just a basic mix, or what? How's it start off?
What happened? Well, with this album, Turn on the Light, which we released released it end of February this year. Yeah. I've had the opportunity to sing one of the songs a few years ago, Turn on the Light, which is actually the title track of the album. And it went down a storm. But it's so frustrating because the songs that I'm asked to do are the hits that I had in the 90s. Are You Ready to Fly? Yeah. Faith in the Power of Love. Everybody's Free to Feel Good. Yeah. And Are You Ready to Fly? And I Love Music. So those are the songs that I'm really booked for. And I'd be quite nervous going out and doing my new tracks and thinking, how are they going to take them? But that's how I started when I did Everybody's Free to Feel Good back in the day. Nobody knew those songs. Yeah. So you got to break it somewhere, somehow. But I just haven't really had that opportunity to do this for this album. And Gary and I are just trying to find ways in how to, bring it out there and do do the live songs.
So is there a revival? Is a revival coming for the 90s music? Because there's been a big revival for 80s for a long time now. Is it?
Oh my gosh, that's what's been, Nigel, that's what's been sustaining me for the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 8 years. And it just seems to get bigger and bigger. There's, I love the 90s, 90s festival. Let's go back to the 90s. All these, it's like guys and girls are catching on to the love the 90s type thing, and they're cashing in on it, which is good for artists like myself who had hits in the early 90s, because it's creating work for us and it's keeping us out there. I've got a gig that I'm doing this coming weekend, 90s festival, love the 90s festival in Spain, and they are massive. You don't have you have between 10 to 25,000 people.
Wow.
Absolutely massive. And Spain has been so good to me for the last 2-3 years. Every weekend I've been flying out there.
Yeah.
This past weekend I was in Liverpool. I did Reminisce Fest. I don't know if you've heard of it. And they were sold out to about 23,000 people.
Wow.
So yeah, make hay when the sun's shining,
Yeah, I can tell. And I watch the videos of when you're in concert as well. And I don't know how you do it, but you keep yourself in such trim shape, don't you?
Oh, thank you.
You never change wearing the outfits, and you're going on stage, and I thought, wow. And you just look like you're really enjoying every little moment of that, aren't you? Every time you go on, you always look like you're absolutely breathing with it.
The reason for that is, I was saying to my husband the other day, my gratitude and my thanks is, so obsessive to be where I am today. I came to England from Africa, hoping to make it as a singer, just trying my luck and seeing what would happen.
Yeah.
And here I am, everybody's free to feel good. Will be 33 years old this year.
Wow.
Been sustained mainly by that one song. And then there's the others, and still been asked and paid to go out and sing these songs.
Yeah.
And I think, wow, thank you. And so my duty as a singer and for my own sake is to take care of myself, body, mind, and soul. It's not always easy because the stresses of life can get on you and stress you out, and, for whatever reason it could be. But, you've got to have, you just got to take care of yourself. And one of the things I do is, I enjoy walking. That is my meditation. I enjoy, going to the gym for personal training. And there's days, Nigel, where I just do not want to leave the house because it's me and Netflix and my onesie. Well, as you know, it's the winter sort of slowly creeping in now, right?
Yeah.
So I've just my onesie sort of peeping out the drawer and going, you'll be wearing me very soon.
Not a good time for doing an interview then, in the winter.
Exactly. I'm going to have my Batman onesie the next time we do an interview. Watch me. Yeah.
Oh, dear me. So there's so much going on. Have you got any more music coming out after this song?
Well, so we just released You and I about a week ago.
Yeah.
I was just sent the DJ reports yesterday, and there's a lot of 10 out of 10, which I'm so grateful. Yeah. A lot of 8 out of 10s. And there's the occasional 0 or not for me, or I don't like it. But hey, that's to be expected. You know what I mean? It's the world we live in. I mean, we don't live in an ideal world. It is what it is. But I would say the majority is really a thumbs up. I'm grateful for that. So Carl Nicholson actually has sent me some tracks that he wants to co-write with me as well. So I'll be going back into the studio and, doing that with him and just seeing what happens.
So how would you actually start, say, a new song with Carl?
Well, he's already sent me the instrumentation of the music and the ideas that he has. He's put down some rough lyrics. So we'll go in, and when I'm sent music, I don't really see myself as a songwriter. I prefer sort of co-writing with other songwriters because I feel my brains anyway get moved better that way, and working with other artists that are sort of jogging your head. And then when I hear a melody, I can just I'll make up a story in my mind that's, meaningful to me, or I don't know, maybe I'll make up a song about a onesie. I don't know.
The remix.
To Nigel.
The onesie remix. I can hear it coming now.
Yeah, the onesie remix. That's right. That's it.
The extended version for 6'6" people.
Exactly. But the music is what, inspires you. And in that moment, you don't know what sort of comes up in your head.
Yeah. This year, to me, it feels like it's a new beginning for you. Like you've turned the page a little bit with this song. Is that right?
Oh, that is a lovely thing to say. I would like to think that. I think so. I feel that as well, funnily enough. And like I say, going back to the DJ reports, it's nothing that I haven't read in a long while compared to the last tracks that were released. Yeah. So absolutely, you're right. And I feel there's something different. It's like a sort of, Rozalla's back type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I listened to it and I thought slightly different, and it's better. It's a bit more shiny. Yeah. It's a bit more polished, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I look forward to going to the studio and working with Carl because, he seems to really know what I want.
Yeah.
He really, he's got it down to detail.
So what's ahead then this year? Obviously, you mentioned a few gigs, is there?
Yeah. Oh, well, doing the gigs. I'll be in Spain this weekend doing a massive Love the 90s festival. I think they're expecting about 25,000, 30,000 turnout. Wow. I mean, when I look at that, the venue that they'll be covering, it is just humongous. So that's happening. And then the following week, I'll be in South Africa with the Milli Vanilli, one of the other half of Milli Vanilli. I've thoroughly looked so forward to meeting him. Dr. Alban will be there. Hadaway will be there.
Wow. My favorites.
Daisy D from Technotronic. So quite a few artists will be traveling down to South Africa to do this gig at Sunbet Arena where I performed at in January this year. Yeah. So I know it was incredible. The Sunbet Arena, I believe, in Pretoria holds about between 8,000 to 9,000 people. Right. And it was sold out. Wow. And so they've invited us back, and it's been, hosted by Jacaranda Radio, which are massive in South Africa. So I'm just pinching myself, and I'm going back to South Africa again. It's just amazing. Brilliant. Amazing.
Is that one of the biggest gigs you'll have done then, or have you done a bigger gig than that?
Oh, I've done bigger gigs than that. Absolutely. I mean, if you go back to, the Love the 90s gigs that I'm doing, and the 90s gigs in particular, are massive in their own right anyway. But, I think the biggest gig I've done in my entire career was when I was the support act for Michael Jackson in 92. Yeah. I did 43 dates with him across Europe. Wow. And we did stadiums, and the smallest stadium we did, I believe, was in Monza, which was in Italy, and that was 25,000 people. That blew my mind. And the rest of the gigs, the rest of the stadiums, as you know, held 75,000 people. Yeah. So, it was 75,000 people. Apart from when we performed in Paris, they ended up being 100,000 people, so I was told, because the Parisians were so eager to see Michael. They apparently either broke the gates down or burnt the gates down. And I remember when I went on stage, I was looking, because obviously you're high on the stage and you can see, on top of people's heads. Yeah. And I remember thinking, and smiling to myself, they look like a squashed can of sardines slowly moving from side to side like they're in the sea. And I'm having a bit of a giggle to myself. Yeah. And I'm wondering, why are they so, squashed up together? And I was told because they burnt the gates down and there's about 100,000 of them out there. And we're not going to say anything, and just, Michael went on and did his gig, and that was incredible.
Yeah. Was there a lot of pressure then working with Michael Jackson? Did that put a bit more edge on it?
Oh my gosh, no, that will remain the highlight of my career. I was so excited. You must imagine, but at that time I was still this newbie from Africa, wet behind the ears, like, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Mind you, a lot of my agents said, you're still wet behind the ears. Still wanted, let me do this. It's like everything is new to me. And I'm like, well, wonderful. I'm going to do this. I'm so excited. But, when you grow up loving the Jackson 5 and then the Jacksons, and then Michael becomes Michael Jackson, and in my opinion, his Off the Wall album will remain for me the best ever. Yeah. And so I'm this young girl in school, and fast forward to many years later, being a support act for Michael Jackson. I say no more, Nigel.
Yeah. Yeah, we're with royalty now. We're working with royalty here.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, what's it feel like when you walk out on stage then? Is it like all excitement or is there still nerves there when you get a really big gathering?
Oh, the nerves are always there. And, but also excitement because I'm thinking when I've done my performance and I see the audience smiling at me and they, just going, yeah, looking at me and, basically telling me, you look great, you're sounding great or whatever. That's encouraging for me. I mean, it's really nerve-wracking. And before you know it, it's over so quickly. And then I'm replaying it in my mind and going, why was I so nervous? Because in that split second before I go on stage, I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Yeah. I just want to be home in bed. Because I'm so nervous.
I've heard other artists have said to me, right, and you've just hit on something there about that it goes so quickly when you get, when you're doing your sequence and everything, and you're doing all your songs, it just flies.
Honestly, Nigel, it goes so quickly. I get off that stage and I just start reliving it and going, why was I so nervous? It was amazing. I want to go back and do it again. And you're on, the adrenaline is just in you, and I get back to my hotel room or if I get back home, I can't sleep, because the adrenaline just flowing, it's great.
Yeah. Is the first moment before you start singing that first few words or whatever, is that the moment? Is it that's a tight moment, is it?
It's the actual walking on the stage for me.
Is it?
It's the actual walking on the stage.
Oh, cheering then. No, go Rozalla!
And then you're hoping for that. And when you see they got their hands up in the air, they're smiling, then you feel, okay, I'm almost home. And then I sing my first note and I'm nervous, and I sing my first note and I can see the recognition of the fans in their faces. And I go, yeah, this is okay then. Then I'm like, that's it. I'm home. I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to do my best.
So what's that feeling like when you first made it then? I mean, when you really wanted to do what you did, didn't you? And that very first moment you thought, did you get really excited feeling, like clenching feeling when you think, oh, I've actually made it? Or how odd is it? Why should I have got to this position,
Yeah, I mean, I just, sometimes, I think, I've made it and the gratitude is in abundance. When I hear my songs being played on the radio and I don't expect it, like the other day I jumped in my car and I put on one of the stations and there was Everybody's Free, playing. I stopped my car and, I get emotional. And it's like I'm having an out-of-body experience and I can't believe that's my song being played. That's my voice I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And so, it's never lost on me. Nigel, it's never lost on me.
Yeah, well, you're so down to the earth about it all, aren't you? Down to the ground. It's not changed you as a person, obviously, has it?
I don't think so. Some of my friends go, you should be more of a diva. I'm like, oh, if you want me to be a diva, I mean, I don't think anybody will book me again, Nigel, but I just can't be. I'm just like, loving every moment, and as the saying goes, make hay when the sun shines,
Yeah, it's exciting times for you, and it seems like it's really building up again, doesn't it? Even
more
so.
Yes. I'm gonna, just do my best. I mean, I turned 60 this year.
Wow.
I turned 60 in March, and I sit down and I think, 33 years later, in fact more, because I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
Here I am, still singing. Still doing my thing.
Still and your voice is still just as good, isn't it?
Thank you. If you say so, thank you. But
how do you keep your voice going like that?
Before I go on stage, I find it imperatively important to do vocal warm-ups.
Yeah.
It's like expecting a runner to just sprint immediately. You get injured. So I found that when I do, at least if I got time, I'll do about a 20-minute vocal warm-up, and that is just everything. It really opens up my voice. If I don't have time, I'll just do a 5-minute vocal warm-up, which isn't really ideal because then the frogs just start jumping and I can hear it in my head.
Yeah.
But vocal warm-ups, and then of course I try and do some vocal exercises when I'm at home, which, you know, I try and get to. I'm not very good because then Netflix takes over my life.
Yeah.
When I'm at home.
Oh, you know, when you're singing right on the stage, do you have little earplugs in your ears so you can hear your voice? Yeah.
Yes.
And I was talking to somebody the other day, Nick Kershaw, and he was a big hit in the 80s. You know, he had a lot of hits then, and he does production now. But he was saying when he goes on stage, he still does a lot of touring like yourself. It makes him not shout or anything because he's got the earplugs in. He uses his voice softly in a way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound soft to the audience, but it's so he doesn't strain his voice.
That's right. Well, you know, I've got an interesting story to tell. I have been getting asked to wear in-ears for the longest time. I just couldn't get on with them because I'm old school. I wanted the monitors and the microphone and just tell the engineer or the sound engineer, you know, just turn up the music or the vocals and give me a little bit of a wet sound, which is sort of like having a little bit of reverb, which really helps me vocally. Yeah. And then I did a show earlier this year with the Ministry of Sound Classical at the Royal Albert Hall. And they didn't have monitors. And they were like, I said, what? It's like, you have to have in-ears because that's the way things are going. That's the way the world is moving. You have to have in-ears. And I'm going, my gosh, I don't have in-ears. I don't own in-ears, you know? Yeah. So they told me what type to get, and I got myself a pair by, I can't remember what brand, a good brand. Yeah. They just said, just get the in-ears. We'll provide the pack. You know, so I'm learning all that. So, you know, and I desperately wanted to do this gig, you know, so I got the in-ears. And when I went to Royal Albert Hall, which in itself is just incredible, they put the in-ears on, they got the pack and everything. And honestly, I walked off that stage thinking, where have I been? Why was I not using in-ears? Because it really, as Nick Kershaw said, it helped my voice. I wasn't straining. I didn't have to, you know, scream those notes out where sometimes when you got those monitors and you can't really hear yourself, you think that by screaming louder or singing louder, you can hear yourself, but yet you're hurting your vocal cords and you end up cracking. But whereas the in-ears, I found I can, you know, sing around my voice. And as you say, you know, Nick Kershaw said you can sing softly, but it's not really singing softly. It's not what the audience are hearing, you know. And, it gives you, what can I say? You can guide yourself. Yeah, you can help yourself.
It's more control, isn't it? Because I know
that's the word.
As a radio presenter, when I used to do it right, I used to put my cans on and used to turn them up really loud.
That's
and the reason being was that I could manipulate my voice as I was talking.
Yeah.
And I wasn't shouting, because the worst thing to start shouting on the radio. And I used to when I first started, don't get me wrong, you know, and if I listen back to it, I think, oh, it's cringeable. I used to turn them up very loud. That's probably why I'm deaf, to be honest. But you listen to you manipulating your voice, and you'll probably do the same, do you, when you're singing? You can really fine-tune it.
Yeah, it's honestly, in-ears for me are the way to go. I am grateful that I got on with them, and, you know, not all the venues provide in-ears. So I just hopefully, you know, make sure that they've got good monitors and good sound system, which live gig for most of them they do. I did Butlins over the weekend as well.
Right.
And I have to say, you know, they have in-ears, but I used the monitors. And because I've been doing Butlins for so many years, and Butlins are geared up for live artists. So I said to my husband, they are one company that just have got it right. Their sound is next to none because that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know, and it was phenomenal. And I had the monitors, and because the sound was right, I wasn't screaming. It was just beautiful, crystal clear.
Wow. Great. They're lucky to have you there, aren't they?
I love doing the Butlins gig. Honestly, because Nigel, without a doubt, you know you're going to get a good reaction. You know, the people that go to Butlins just want to have a great time, just want to enjoy themselves.
Definitely,
and incredible. So,
I never got to a Butlins. The nearest I got was doing a Pontins.
All right. Okay.
And there was one at Blackpool, not far from us, and we did a weekend there for listeners, and there was about 1,000 listeners went along for. And you're right, what they do, they just literally go for the weekend, and it's just one big party, isn't it?
They just want to have a good time. And that vibe, as a DJ or an artist, you can feel it. Yeah. And it's infectious, and you're just like, I'm just going to have a great time.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, well, I wish you all the very best for the rest of the year. I'm so excited for you because it's great and it's going really well. And I think that song's brilliant.
Thank you so much.
It's going to be, I think the best thing is if it's a bit of a slow burner, to be honest with you, Rozalla, because what they do is they stay around for ages then, don't they?
Yeah.
And if the clubs start playing it and that, and that's the best thing that could happen, I think, really.
Honestly, I've got my fingers crossed. I will be overjoyed when I'm asked to go out and sing You and I live. I feel it in my waters that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it in my waters. That the DJ report was so encouraging.
Yeah, definitely.
So fingers crossed. I mean, coming from you, I really appreciate that so much.
Yeah, it's a great song. Anyway, wish you all the best. I'll keep it.
My darling,
I'll get back in touch with you maybe in the new year.
Please do.
When you get back from Africa.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Tell me all about it then. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nigel.
Okay, it's a pleasure talking to you. All the best and all the best to the crew. Congratulations to Carl as well. Pass on my regards to him.
I will do. I will do. Thank you for your support always.
And yourself, of course, because without you, it wouldn't be a song, would it?
Thank you. God bless you, my darling.
Yeah, you take care.
Take care, my darling. Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.
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 Thank you for joining us and sharing in the untold stories of the stars. In the world of showbiz, there's always another story waiting to be told. See you next time.